The average American family spent $2,200 on home heating last winter. The Amish family 3 counties over spent nothing. Not because they were cold, not because they were suffering, because they are using a system that has been quietly working for over 2 centuries. And the heating industry has spent decades making sure you never hear about it. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to do about it. Here is what they sold you: a furnace, a thermostat, a monthly bill, a service contract, a filter replacement schedule, a technician you call when it breaks, which it always does, right at the start of winter. The modern forced air heating system was not designed for your comfort. It was designed for your dependence. The American heating and cooling industry generates over $140 billion annually. That number does not happen by accident. It happens by design. Every component in your HVAC system has an engineered lifespan. Not a natural one, an engineered one. Industry insiders call it service cycle optimization. You probably call it your furnace dying every 15 to 20 years, right on schedule. Since 1950, the average American home has tripled in square footage. But here is the number no one talks about. Heating efficiency, the actual percentage of fuel that becomes usable warmth in your living space, has barely moved. Forced air systems still lose 30 to 40% of their heat through ductwork before it ever reaches you. You are paying for heat that disappears inside your own walls every single month, every single winter, for your entire life. The Amish have not paid a utility heating bill in 200 years, and they are not cold. And that contrast should make you furious. Let's talk about what they are actually using, because this is not folklore, this is not primitive technology. This is engineering that modern science has repeatedly validated and repeatedly ignored in favor of systems that require monthly payments. The core of Amish heating is the masonry heater, also called a kachelofen in German tradition, or a Russian fireplace in Eastern European communities. This technology dates to the 1300s Europe. It was refined over 500 years before the first American utility company ever sent a bill. A masonry heater burns a small, intense fire, typically 2 hours per day, and stores that heat inside a dense core of brick, soapstone, or ceramic tile weighing between 1,000 and 2,000 pounds. That mass then radiates steady, even warmth for 18 to 24 hours afterward. One fire. All-day heat. No thermostat. No gas line. No electric ignition that fails at -10 degrees. But it gets worse for the industry. The combustion efficiency of a masonry heater runs between 85 and 92%. Your modern gas furnace? The one you paid $3,000 to $7,000 to install? It runs at 80% on a good day, and that assumes perfect duct integrity, which the EPA has reported less than 30% of American homes actually have. You are operating an inferior system, and you are paying a premium for the privilege. Here is where it gets interesting. The United States government knows this. In the 1970s, following the oil crisis, the Department of Energy commissioned research into high-mass radiant heating systems. The results were conclusive. Masonry heaters outperformed forced air systems in thermal efficiency and air quality and long-term cost. The research was published. It was filed. Nothing changed. The gas industry spent $350 million on lobbying between 1975 and 1990. Building codes across 38 states were written to favor gas and electric infrastructure. Not because it was better, because it was billable. And this is the part they really do not want you to see. Radiant heat, the kind that comes from a warm mass, not a blowing duct, is physiologically superior to forced air heat. This is not opinion. The American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers published data showing that humans feel comfortable at 65 degrees Fahrenheit in a radiant environment versus 70 degrees in a forced air environment. That is a 5-degree difference. If you heat your home to 65 instead of 70, you cut your heating demand by approximately 10% for every degree. 5 degrees. That is a 15 to 20% reduction in your annual heating bill just from switching the delivery method. The industry never told you that. Your thermostat was calibrated for their system, not for your body. But it gets worse. Forced air heating recirculates air. That means dust, allergens, mold spores, and combustion byproducts cycle through your home continuously. The EPA ranks indoor air quality as one of the top 5 environmental health risks in the country. Masonry radiant heat produces no air movement. It does not recirculate. It does not blow. It simply warms. Amish homes have been using this system for generations. There is no filter to replace. There is no duct to clean. There is no service contract to sign. Second, so here is what you actually do about this. You do not need to move to an Amish farm. You do not need to tear your house apart next weekend. But you do need to understand your real options because the heating industry will not give them to you. The first option is a true masonry heater installation. Companies like Tempcast, Tulikivi, and BioFire manufacture certified masonry heater systems that meet modern building codes in all 50 states. A Tulikivi soapstone heater runs between $5,000 and $15,000 installed. That sounds expensive until you realize the average American spends $2,200 per year on heating. A masonry heater, properly built, lasts 50 to 100 years with 0 mechanical components to replace. The math is not complicated. Within 5 to 7 years, the system pays for itself. After that, you are heating your home on firewood. In most of the continental United States, a cord of hardwood costs $200 to $400. A cord heats approximately 1,000 square feet through a full winter in a masonry system. Your utility company charges you that much in 2 months. The second option is a soapstone wood stove. These are smaller, less expensive, and do not require structural modification in most cases. Woodstock Soapstone, based in New Hampshire, has been manufacturing high-mass radiant stoves since 1978. Their Keystone and Progress hybrid models carry EPA certification and burn at over 80% efficiency. A Woodstock stove runs $2,000 to $4,500. It will outlast every appliance currently in your home. Soapstone retains heat 4 times more effectively than cast iron. It radiates after the fire is out. That is the entire principle. And you are not paying for continuous combustion. You are charging a thermal battery. The third option requires 0 installation. It is called a rocket mass heater. It is built from cob, brick, and recycled materials. The design has been open source since the 1970s, documented extensively by researchers like Ianto Evans and the Aprovecho Research Center in Oregon. A rocket mass heater burns 80 to 90% less wood than a conventional fireplace. The combustion chamber runs so hot, over 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit, that smoke is almost entirely consumed before it exits. What comes out of the exhaust is primarily water vapor and carbon dioxide. Many jurisdictions allow owner-built rocket mass heaters under the same codes that permit wood stoves. This system costs between $300 and $1,500 in materials, but it heats a room for years on scavenged wood. The fourth thing to understand is insulation sequencing. Every one of these systems performs dramatically better when your thermal envelope is tight. Air sealing, not insulation alone, but actual air sealing with spray foam or caulk at penetrations, reduces heating load by 20 to 30% in most older American homes. This is the step that HVAC contractors never lead with. Because a house that needs less heat is a house that needs less of their product. Air seal first. Then size your heating system to reality, not to worst-case scenarios that justify oversized equipment and larger invoices.